Here you can see we have node to supplier. So node to supply is also there. So we can pass. It's not mandatory, but we can pass. So here we can, let me add the value as node to, sorry, this node to, let me do it, provide here. Node to supplier for line 1, and there will be 2 lines. So I will give add 2 line here. Line 2, that's fine. Not to receiver, not required. I don't want to pass here. These all are the DFF values, attributes and all. As of now, we don't want to provide any value here. So our line is done. So our line is done for one purchase order, right? POH1. So now same thing we have to provide for another purchase order. So let me repeat the same. You can provide based on your requirement. So whatever is there. So let me copy this same, but this time I will pass 4 lines here, and this time 4 lines I will make this purchase order header 2. It means that our second our second purchase order, that's POH02, will have 4 lines, and 4 lines will have the 4 lines key. So line key 1, 2, line key 3, and line key 4. So this is unique for purchase order header, right? This you can see here in the line key. If you will see, it's required, you can see it should be unique in this sheet. So this be unique in this sheet for the header, right? So here we given L01 for this one and L01 for PO header 1. So now we given this information here. After that you can see everything, let me use the same also, but here you can see this purchase order header 2, that the second purchase order having line number 1, line number 2, again line number 1, it can create problem because one purchase order header cannot have 2 lines with the same number, right? So let me provide line number 3 and line number 4. So these are the 4 lines, all the 4 lines having the different quantity. So let's first quantity as 100, second quantity as 200, third quantity as 300, and the fourth quantity as 400. Now price is, let me put price as 2000 for the second purchase order for all these items. Let me be the same. Go back and let's see that not to supplier. So here you can see we'll pass as 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just the message we are using to identify, see the lines. And where we done with the lines information, we given the line information in our FBDI sheet. After that we just have to go for location. Just like line is related to header, same as location or schedule is related to related to lines. So for each line we will have the schedules. So go to the schedule or locations, and here we have to put the information. So here you can see the information in interface line key. So where is the interface line key? These are the interface line key. Let me copy this interface line key here. And in the interface line key here we have to provide the line locations value for each and every interface key, right? So for this interface key, these two, I will provide the location as PO line location 01, line location 02, again PO line location 01. I will repeat 4 for all these 4. Okay. And after that here we have to provide the schedule number. So I will provide the schedule number 1 for all, because first line will have only one schedule, second line also will have only one schedule, same as all these 4 line have the one schedule for each and every line. So I don't want to go deep dive into that. So after that here you can see we have ship to locations, ship to organization, but it's not mandatory to provide here because it will take be the default from the line level also or the header level, right? So go to that sheet. Here you can see in the order entity line, last time when we are using from the web services, we just provided the items, item quantity, unit of measure, and the price. In the schedule, or that's the location one, we provided the line number, and after the schedule number we provided the need by date, and we provided the ship to location and the ship to organization code. So let me copy this ship to location and put this ship to location here. So this is the ship to location. Let me provide ship to location same for all these 4. Ship to organization, here we use 001. So we use 001 here. But here you can see when we provide a 001, it's got truncated as considered as a number. So let me change the column type here. So go to the general, we will select number and remove the value. So this 001 is, again it's not there. Let me make as text.
Text.
Yeah, so where is this text? Go text. Okay. So now here we will provide value as 001. So this is our ship to location, and let me put same ship to location for all these line location. And the amounts, again, here you can see this time here we didn't provide the amount. So again, I will not provide amount here also. Quantity, everything will be derived from the line level only. So let it be the same here. I don't want to provide anything. Everything is same. It will pick from the line. Let's see. That's fine. Now go to the distribution. And again, in the distribution, if you will able to see, the reference key is for the line location. You can say interface line location key. And here we have the interface line location. So location key. Let me copy this line location key here and we'll paste it here. And the line location key is for distribution. So again, for that we have the distribution number 1 2 3 1 1, and I will use distribution 1 for each and every line. So I will use 1 only, and here we have to provide the distribution key, so the key so that it can make a reference. So again, purchase order line location distribute 01. So 01 02, again I will go for 01 0 1 2 3 4, all these four having the four values. And here you can see distribution number, I will put 1 for all these line. And here deliver to location requester and all, everything is coming from here only. You can see in that one we just provide the distribution number, so we given the distribution number here. Fine, let's move to the load the file. So here you can see, when before coming to session I was just doing the revision and I got to know that amount is mandatory to pass. So this time I'm not going to pass amount here, because when I will load I will get an error, and then I will show you that how we can identify the error messages and how we will fill that amount here. So now we fill all these informations to FBDI template, and after filling this one we just have to go and generate the zip file. So let me save this file here, so that next time if I will close the file I will get the same information here. Now for generating the zip file you just have to create the generate CSV file button to generate the zip file from this template. So I will click here. It will ask us to locations to save the file. So let me go to the session folder here, purchase import PO from FBDI. I will create new folder here. Today's is 8th December, so 0F122024. And here you can see this is a zip file name. Zip file name you can provide anything, but inside the zip file there will be CSV file. That name will be automatically there. You cannot change that one. If you will change, your file will not be loaded, because your control file will ask you the same file name. So let me provide the name as PO load FBDI 08122024. 01 is the first load. Save. Here you can see second file. The second, this is the first CSV file, that the header. Save. Second CSV file. Save. Third CSV file. Save. And the fourth CSV file. Save. So all this CSV file is merged into the zip file. Let's navigate and check the zip file. So if we will go to finding the zip file, here you can see this is our PO load FBDI 8 December 2024 01 is zip file. And if you will open the zip file, you will be able to find all these four CSV file there. It's automatically generated by the FBDI template. So now this is the FBDI zip file we have to load to that UCM server. Now next step. So as per our session, you can see we downloaded the template file, we prepared the data file, we generated the zip file. Now next step is to upload the zip file to UCM server. And for uploading the zip file to UCM server, we just have to navigate to tools and we have to go the import and export file. You can see upload zip file to UCM, we have to navigate to tools and go to that file import and export. So let's move to that Fusion. And here instead of providing the value, let me go to this purchase, or let me open this another. Here we have to go to tools. So this is the tools. In the tools we have the icon for file import and export. So we'll select here. So file import and export is used to upload the file to UCM server on a specific UCM account. For adding the file, you just have to click on this plus icon. Click on the plus icon. It will ask you the file, which file you want to load. So let me go and select the same file. This is the file I want to load. And here we have to select the account where we have to load the file. For purchase order, the account is UCM account is PRC, purchase order and import. So I will select that one only. Click here. and find that PRC somewhere. You can see PRC blanket purchase, PRC contract, PRC purchase order import. You can see this one, PRC purchase order import. This is the same location available in the FBDI template or a doc. You can see. So now selected that one, we just have to click on save. So once you will click on save, the zip file will be loaded to UCM server, and same you will be able to find in the below. You can see here, this is the file we loaded. The time you can see, the owner who loaded that one, our user, that Calvin Roth, and where it's loaded in the account. So now our next step is done to load the file to UCM server. After that, we have next step is to run the ESS job, that is load interface file for import, which will be responsible for unzipping the file, and whatever CSV file is there need to it will load the zip file to the UCM account in the interface table. So let's move to that Fusion again, and here we just have to go to home. We have to go to schedule process. In the schedule process, you can see select new process. This select new process button will help us to select run the new ESS job. So just click here. The ESS job we have to run, that is load interface file for import. So in the name you have to search load interface file, or just click on tab, so that whatever ESS job will be with this name, it will come here. So I will just click tab, so it will automatically come here, load interface file for import. Or directly you can click on drop down and you can select from here, or you can click on here and you can search the program. So our program is load interface. I will search enter and click on search. You can see load interface file for import. Double click here, it will be selected. Now load interface file for import is selected. Just click on OK. Once you will select on OK, it will ask you the import process name, that based on import process, because this program, how it will identify from where you have to find the zip file, from where this import program will find the zip file, right? That load interface file for import program, it will pick this it will pick the zip file from which location. How it will identify? It will identify the location based on that purchase order import. We have this location, and in this location only we loaded the file. So that's why we just have to go and select the import process. So click on drop down, go to search, and search the import program. So import program is, our import program name is import order. So copy this one, go here, paste, and click on search. You can see import order. Just select the import order here. Once you will select this import order, so this import orders, each and every UCM account is linked, or the reference with the import process. So this import orders is linked with the specific import directory, that is this UCM account. So whatever file is there in the UCM account, you will be able to see in the drop down. So once you will click here, the file we loaded, that is PO load FVDI 8/12/2024. This is the recent file we loaded, and the location you can see, all locations are the same locations, right? Sometimes you will upload the file to UCM server, but you will not be able to find the zip file here. The simple reason is you uploaded the zip file to different UCM account and you selected the different import process. That can be the reason. So now we selected all these things. Just click on submit. It will give you the confirmation pop-up, and here you will be able to get the process ID, this 737535758. Click OK. Now if you will refresh, you will be able to see your import program here. You can see this one, load interface file for import. And this load interface file for import is a parent. Inside that we have lots of child program, that the transfer file, the first sub program, that is transfer file, is responsible for unzipping the file by picking from the UCM server and providing the CSV file to the control file location. And after that it will run the interface it will run the another program which will load the CSV data into interface table. Here you can see, if I will refresh, you will be able to see this load file to interface. And here we have 4 load file for interface program, because in our zip file there are 4 CSV file there. That's why it's run the 4. And here you can see it's bit difficult to see here, because lot of user will be there and each and every user will run their own programs and all, right? And you are not able to find. That's why here we have hierarchy options. Once you will click on the hierarchy options, you will be able to see that all ESS job run by your user or run by you. So you can see this is the load interface file for import program we executed. It's completed successfully. And if you will click here in the below, you will be able to find the log messages. Just click on this few more. You can see it means that this having the 4 the 4 log files. So this first is the log file. You can see this is the request set. These all are the log message, and if who is from the EBS background, they will be able to understand these messages. Right, in the EBS, we are writing this message manually in the SL script. The code defining that what in the zip file, what CSV file they find, all this CSV file, what is the location they will provide to the CSV file, everything we are able to see here. So this is the log message for the parent, and if you will see, these are the CSV file which we extract from the zip file. If you will click on any of that, you will be able to find the zip file. You can see this is the same zip file we created in and we provided in the FBDI template. You can see this one.
One question I have, Zafar.
Yeah.
On the zip file, right? The order of files, how do you know which one executed first? Is there
No,
any time stamp?
no, it will that's why I told you, right? So this load interface file for import program, behind that it's executing the different programs, that shell script, PL code and all. So based on
Mm-hmm.
that it's executing, so it's not any following the sequence, but yes, it's saying that the first it will execute the transfer file. I told you, right, this transfer file is responsible for unzipping the file. So obviously before unzipping, it will pick the file from UCM account, it will unzip the file, and whatever CSV file is there, it will first put the CSV file to a specific location. That location is related to the control file, from which location control file pick the file and load into interface table. If you will see this transfer file log, you can see, click on that import program. There you can see this is the log file, log and output. Click here, it will give you the log file. If you will open the log file, you will be able to see that this is the directive from where it will put the file. And while putting the file, it's all are the parameters internally they are using. And if you will see next, you can see the load file for interface. So if you will see here, this is the program. This program is responsible for picking the file from this location and loading the data of the file into interface table. So which interface table it's loading the data? You once you will click here, you will be able to see the log here. Once you will click the log, this is the same log as a SQL loader. You can see this is the same location from where it picked the file. This is the control location, control file location. This is the zip file location. And after that, if there will be any error, it will generate the discard file or back file. Everything you will be able to find in the log message here. So as of now, our program is completed successfully. That's why we don't have any discarded file and all. If there will be any error, we will have one more file here in the log message, that discard, and all the records which was not loaded into interface table, you will be able to find in the discard log file. And if you will see this one, this ESS, this job load file for import is responsible for loading data into which table. So the log message defining the table name, you can see PO lines location interface, and these all are the column. These all are the same sequence column which we loaded here, which we have in the our file, with the few validations and all the validations of data file, date, time and all we are passing, right? Here you can see. And now here you can see we have six lines in the line locations, and all the 6 line loaded successfully. Even sometimes if you will get error in your program, once you will go to the log message, you will be able to find the error reason here. Here in this place only you will get to know that which record rejected by loading into interface table, and what's the reason behind rejection of the table, the record. So this will be same for all these four. If you will go for second one, if you will download the log for second file, the second file will have the second another control file. You can see this is for the distribution and having all the columns. And again all the distribution record, the 6 record readed and loaded successfully. We don't have any error here, right? The 6 record we read and all the 6 record loaded. And the same control file, just for reference purpose, if you will see while checking from the control here, Oradoc, we have the control file they given, right? So if you will see the control file for the any of the fund header distributions line, if you will click on this header one, it will give you the same control file which we were referring. Let me open this control file here in the notepad. You will be able to find. You can see this is the same control file, right? The inserting data into the PO headers in the score interface table with all the columns, with the columns for view validations. So these are all the predefined. In EBS, we are writing this code, but yes, in Fusion is just taken the copy from there only. So it's already defined by the Fusion developer only. So now our all the ESS job programs completed successfully. Until your load interface file for program will complete successfully, you will not be able to move further for running the another import program. So now next program we have to run is we already checked in the log messages, everything got successful in our case. Now we have to run the import process, and import process will be different for different transactions. So now for import, for purchase order we have imports order, and from where you will get this information, we already know that we got the information from this location only, right? The schedule process, the schedule process is something that import process name, so the name is import orders. So now we have to move to this where this is Fusion applications only, and here we have to run another ESS job, that's the import program, and the import program will name will be imports order. So just give a tab so that this order will be loaded. You can see here we have two name with this import orders, that imports orders, import sales order. We have to go for imports orders, double click here, it will be selected, and click on OK. So once you will run this one, it will ask you few parameters. That parameters you have to provide. So by default, as our user having this the access only of this US1 business unit by default, that's why it's coming here. You can select another business unit based on your data file or the CSV file or the FBDI template you downloaded. So in the FBDI template, our procurement BU was this one. Go to this sheet first. You can see our procurement BU was US1 business unit, so that's why we selected US1 business unit. Our default buyer was Calvin Roth. So here our buyer was Calvin Roth, and that the create or update. So obviously we have to go for create only, not we are going to for update. That's why I will select no. By default is there. I don't want to do changes here. Approval action, submit for approval you want, or you don't want to go for approval. So I will let once I want that once purchase order loaded, it should go for submit for approval. So I will click here, submit for approval. It's automatically selected. And import source you can provide or you can skip, and the batch name. So this import source is something that here in our data file. Let me show you that one. Here you can see import source. So here in our file, we don't provide any import source, so we will not provide. But yes, batch ID we given here. So we given batch ID as batch ID as this one. So because in our file there is two batch ID, but this each and every this import program will run for the specific batch ID. So we will provide the batch ID here. So this 2001 batch ID we have to provide. So if we provide this first batch ID, so what it will do, all these records already inserted into interface table, but all this record will not move in a single hit. So it will take all the orders, all the information which is available with the batch ID, this 20001 which we are passing here. Default equation BU is the same, let it be the same, just click on submit. So once you will click on submit, again if you give you the process ID, just click OK, and here you can just refresh to get the status of the your import program. So we are running here. So just wait for a minute, it will complete, load will be completed. And again it's depend on data, right? So we have very less data, it will not take much time, but if you will have large data to load, it will take bit time. So just refresh until that program will be completed either in success or either in error. So program got completed successfully, it means that our job successfully. Now we have to check that is it correctly loaded or not, same as in our instruction. You can see now next we have to verify the log messages. So go to the tab, click here. Once you will click on the any of the ESS job, go below and you will be able to find the ESS job here. Once you will click on this more and all, you will be able to see the log messages. And in the case of purchase order, if your purchase order is not loaded successfully, you will get one more a log file, that's the PDF file, this one. And if you will see this PDF file, all the error message will be there in the PDF file. Click here, and here you can see our purchase order is not loaded. And why it's not loaded? Not loaded due to the issues. And what is the issue? You can see the issue is purchase order headers, all these header are one only. So one header having this 5 errors, and the line interface case is that line 1, line 2, there is two lines for that. Here you can see the interface key line location is the line location 1, line locations 2, and here 2. And what is the error message? Error message, the value for this attribute must be unique. Which values? The value is PO, that unique value, that POPDOI unique value, POPDI unique value, PDOPDI, PDOPDI unique schedule. you must provide at least one schedule for each line. And here you can see this error message seems saying that column name interface line location key. This is the column name, and how you can find this column names. This column name you can find from the control file, or you can directly move to the FBDI template, and here you can see the column is related to locations, and this column is related to headers. If you go to the locations, this is the location, and in the location you can see this is the first column, interface line location, and you can see the column name as interface line location key, interface line locations key, and they're saying that the value for this attribute must be unique, right? But here you can see what we done mistake, as it is not unique here in this case, right? So here we have to provide the unique value. So let me do one thing, let me provide the unique value for that. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, here we provided the unique value. So now let me copy this unique value here. Maybe I done mistakes, I'm just it having issues here. So let me try with this time location is there, let me provide the unique value here, and again in the distribution also let me provide the unique distribution line. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 all having the unique distribution line, that's fine. Distribution line number is fine, it will work, but key having the issues. Let I change this one. Let me see, do we have any other issues? Column values is P001. PO header ID, let's see that do we have any invalid PO header ID. PO header ID, let me see the zip file we generated. This is the, let me first unzip the zip file. No, that number of record is what they are same. This is header here, PO lines, or PO line, no, PO header information header. Yeah, here you can see we have three lines here. The three lines, maybe we have new lines or enter in these lines. That's why it seems that three lines here, but I don't think that we have the three lines. So let me go here in the Excel sheet. Let me remove all the records here. So this time I remove. Now go, I have to generate another file. So just I will click on this one. I updated the value for the line key values. I will give the name as 2 here this time. Save first file, second file, third file, fourth file. So now zip generated. So now again we have to load this file again. So for again loading the file, we just have to navigate to the Fusion applications. We just have to go and click on the import one. Go to the load the file to UCM server. But there is another simple way to do these things. Each and every time we don't need to go separately loading the file into this UCM account by moving control here in this point. It's right, this one. So not mandatory to move every time, go select the import process to load file here. So we can bypass this step, and we can bypass this step directly in the load interface option only. So just go here, click the new file. We just have to load the new files. I will select the load interface again, and here we have to select our import program, that's the import orders. And import orders, here we have to select the data file. So as our data file we are not able to see here because we have not loaded the data file. So if you will go below, you will be able to see that upload a new file options. So just click here and upload the file here directly. So I will select our zip file here directly, click on OK. Now we uploaded the zip file manually here. Just click on submit, so that we just bypass one step to upload the file at zip UCM server there. Now just wait to complete this import process. So now completed and now it's success. We can go for running the import program. So just go and click on import. So it was import order, import orders. I will select the import orders here and just click on OK. Again, we have to select the parameters. So the parameters here, everything is same. I just have to provide the batch number, batch ID. So what is the batch ID here? So batch ID is 2001. I think it will again create problem. We have to provide the another zip batch ID. Let's see. Because that old in error records is already there in the interface file interface table with the same batch ID. So maybe it can create problem as it will pick the old record to the import program. But let's see here. Just click on this import program. We have three files. Again, if we have the error, let's see the error message. Click on the file and here you can see the value for the attribute must be unique. This time it's got error for locations 3 and locations 4 and shipment number 1. Where is shipment number? The shipment number is here in this one, right? Shipment number, this is the schedule. Shipment number, column is shipment number and the shipment number is something, distribution number, the schedule number, shipment number. This is one for all. Okay, so it's giving error maybe because that we have the same batch and for this batch it picks the multiple records. Let me change the batch as 11 and this batch as 12. So upload the, let me create another zip file. I will try this one because maybe it's picking the old records too, but in the our latest run, the earlier run. So I am just going to change the zip file name here and we already changed the batch ID. So I will provide the batch ID and a new batch ID this time when we will load so that our old records present in the interface table, it will not pick this time. And let's see everything is fine or not. So our zip file generated. Let me go and again run the import program. Click on schedule new process. Here again we have to select the import program. So either you can select import program just by search or you can just scroll down and somewhere you will be able to find that import orders. So here you can see import journals. We have to select the import orders. That's import payable invoices. All are there. Where is import order? Here you can see import orders under the purchasing. So select this import order here. Go and upload the file. So I will just upload the file again. Our file is 3 and okay. So again it will take few minutes to complete this load process. So once it will be loaded successfully, we will move further and we will run the import program again. So that's the benefits of FBDI. It's providing the log message. Using the log message, you will be able to find and debug your issues. So that based on that, you can do the changes in your file and you can load the file again. And while working for the integration, whatever import program it's running here manually, that we are running manually, we will run this import program from OIC. And after running this one, so the log messages and all we will get in the callback integration. So when we will create callback integrations, we will be able to find all this information. So here interface file completed successfully. Click here, go run the import program. Select the import orders. Okay. And the batch is our batch. We updated the batch name. So the batch name is this one. Let me copy and pass it here. Batch ID. Click submit. So this time what it will do, whatever record inserted into interface table, it will pick only the record which having the batch ID as 2000011 with this default requisition BU as this one, all these parameters value. So that is this time it will pick only this record, this record from the interface table and based on this record it will pick all these lines from here and all the locations and the distribution, and it will move to uploading into the base table. So it's again got completed successfully. Click here, go below. Here we have again that error message. Let's see what is the log. uh what is saying column 1, shipment number 1, load request, this one, line interface key pol, line locations 3 4 having the same shipment number. Let me go to the shipment number. PO shipment POL 003, POL 0034. It should pick only, where is this one? It's 3 and 4. Line location 1, line locations 2. Where is this one? Line location 1 and line locations 2 having the location line LL34. Why it's picking 34 here? It's picking 34 here. 1 2 3 4. Is it that the making difference here? Okay, let me make this column as unique here, and the same we will provide here is a unique, and we already this 6 we provided unique here. So let me generate zip file again. I will cancel this one because I just have to update the batch number again, batch ID again, sorry. And so now here you go to header. Where is this header? Let me close this file again. Don't save. Where is this downloaded file we have? This one. So here purchase order 1 1 2. Okay, do one thing. Let me delete this second row. Based on the two purchase order, we are just getting confused here and getting error. So let me delete second purchase order from here. Update the batch name as 3001, and that one purchase order let me put as all these six row in the single purchase order only. So the purchase order POH 001 having 6 row. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 line key, and all the 6 line key having line number 1 2 3 4 5 6, sorry, 1 2 3 4 5 6 line. So one purchase order of a line, purchase order header will have 6 line and all having the 6 different line number. Now let me copy this line 1 here, and all these 6 line will have the different line locations, that 1 2 3 4 5 6 line location, and all these 6 line location will have different distribution key. So let me provide the different distribution key as 1. And distribution number we are just going to provide 1 as distribution number 1 only. Let's see that we are going to load here schedule 1. That's fine. The distribution is also 1. Let me save. This is our batch number. Let me copy the batch number so that we can put while loading. Create a new zip file. Here this time I will give the zip file name as 4 so that we cannot miss while uploading the same file again and again. Our all 4 files created in the zip file. Now we have to go back again, run the import program. So cancel this one, and here you can see remaining we have different files too. That this log file is something that created for developer purpose, that so that they can do and they can just check the debugging purpose, that where it's got loaded and what's where is the control moved to that. And another file you can see the text file having the actual reason or that error messages and all if you have. So here you can see the same error message we are getting in our PDF file, that error message that the PO unique values, that the message is this column shipment number having value as 1, it's asking that unique number. That must be unique. Is it like it's asking for 1 2? Let's load this time. Otherwise, next time I will update the value from here shipment. That's shipment this one. Sorry, this one shipment schedule number. That's the shipment number. We will update to 1 2 3 4. Let's see. So this time we go and update the file again. And select the import program. So import is import orders. Import orders. We'll select the file directly by here. Moving to upload a new file. Again upload the file. That's the fourth one, our latest one. We'll select the 4 here. File uploaded. Click on submit and just done. So let's wait for completing this program. Once this program will be completed successfully, we will move further and we'll run the import program. So as you can see, it automatically added the node. It means that it's started running the child program. So now load program completed successfully. We have to run the import programs. Import orders. This one. Okay. We already copied the batch ID, so I will pick the batch ID here. Let me pass from this one. This is the batch ID. Everything is same. Let it be the same. Submit for approval. That's fine. Unit and all. Click on submit. So this is 825. Let me go and check. Just waiting to complete this program. The program got completed. Wait for success. Yeah, it's got succeed status. Just see the log messages again. So again, we have 3 log file. That PDF. If we have PDF file for purchase order, it means that we have some error there. Let's see that error message again. Ah, so that issue got resolved, and now the issue is this time the shipment quantity. This is the same issue if you remember while creating the FBDI file first time I told you that here in this case of sales creating the order from web services, this one we are not providing any order quantity in this distribution, right? But here you can see it's asking we have to provide the quantity. The column name you can see must have enter a positive number. And what is the column name? The column name is shipping UOM quantity. And from where you will get the shipping quantity, how you will identify? If you will see the VDI template, we don't have the column name, right? But if you will move your mouse here, you will be able to see the name interface line key. So what column name we have to refer? We have to refer column name as shipping UOM quantity. So let's find the quantity is something that we have starting from the line table, right? Line 1. So line 1 having the quantity. Where is quantity? This one. And quantity, what is the column name? That's shipping UOM quantity. So here we have already the values, right? That is the correct one. Go to the location, and the locations, just check where is the quantity column. So in the locations we don't have the quantity column, right? Here let's see, do we have the quantity column? Yeah, here you can see we have the quantity column and name as that shipping UOM quantity. So the same quantity we provided here, I will copy the quantity and will provide the quantity here also. So for each and every line, for line having one schedule only, the schedule the locations and all the schedules having the same quantity as the line. So now we have one more line, as you can see here. If you will see, this one is the distribution, and the distribution also we have one more quantity. You can see the quantity. If you will move cursor here, you will be able to see the header name. What is the column name? Shipping UOM quantity, right? So let me provide the same value here. So now we provided a value to this column, and if you will see in the log message here in the PDF, the error message saying that we must enter a positive value. It seems that it's looking like we are providing negative values or something, right? But it's not like that. If you will see the log message here, other than the text file is the log message. If you click here, in that you will be able to see this column having the null values, but it's asking that instead of null value, it's asking to provide a positive number, right? So now instead of null value, we already provided in our Excel sheet as number. So now let us generate a CSV file again. So go to the file. Instead of that, let me change the batch ID to, this time I will change the batch ID to 002. Now go to the generating the zip file again. So that's the process. First time here, whenever we are going to create integration for FBDI load, first we have to create the FBDI file manually. Try to load the file manually. Once you will be able to load the file manually. So by loading the file manually, you will be confirmed that your setup is perfect work. Setup is enough configures to create purchase order using FBDI, and the data you are receiving, you are about to receive from source system is enough informations to create the purchase order. Maybe you require, while creating the purchase order, you require any of the column. That column you are not getting from the source system or the source file. So by doing all these things, sorry, by creating files manually, you will get to know that okay, while for creating the purchase order from front end, we required all these column, so that you can be sure and you can take the column. So let me run the load interface file for import program again to load the file to UCM server and run the import program. So here we are selecting the import process, that import orders. So we'll select the file, which file we have to load. So now this process, we are loading file to UCM server. The file loaded to UCM server on the specific account, the account we selected here successfully. Now we are running to the load interface file for import program. We submitted here, just done. Let's see the status of this import program. So right now you can see, as this is the parent program and the child program of this parent program is not started yet. That's why you can see there is no icon for extending this ESS job. But if you will refresh, you can see now we are able to see this one. So if you will expand here, you can see we will be able to see few of the, right now you can see we have only one sub program there, that's the transfer file. If I will refresh, now we will be able to see few more. Here you can say this all four got executed, this one got executed, program got completed, and once we will refresh, it will be success. Now program got succeeded, we have to run the import program. So import program is import orders. We executed 5 times this program here. Just go okay, and here we have to select the batch ID. So batch ID I already copy. Let me go select the batch ID, that's 3002. Click on submit, click on ok. From OIC, when we will run this FBDI file and we will load that file, so we will get this process ID for this load interface file for import program only. And the process ID for this import orders or process ID for this sub programs and all these things we will get in the callback integrations only. That's why callback integrations are important, to just find the log messages and all. Without callback, you can just load the file to system, but you will not be able to track. So either you can go for creating the callback integrations, or you can create another schedule integration by running, by passing that the BIP report uses and all you can do. So here you can see, this time when we loaded the import order having only two log file. If you will click here, we don't have PDF file here. So why we don't have PDF file here? If you remember, that PDF file is specifically related to error report. You can see purchasing document import error report, it's not for the success report. So it's only for error records. So now this time when we loaded, we don't have any error, all the record loaded successfully. That's why we are not able to see the PDF for that error report. We have the log file. If you will click on this text file, the text is the log for human readable, our readable purpose. This dot log file is something that the developer written the code, and they're just generating the log file to debug their files, their programs. So this text file we have to download. So once you will open the text file, whatever number of purchase order created, you will be able to find the purchase order here. You can see the purchase order we created, that US116570. Let me copy this purchase order from here, and let me verify the purchase order from front end. Go to navigate here, cancel this old purchase order. This is another one. Let me close this one. Okay. And here you can see we have to provide the purchase order number. This is the purchase order number which we created from FBDI. All this information are the same which we have used, and just click on search. So if this purchase order will be there, it will display in the line. You can see purchase order available here. Now you can see the once purchase order created, just click here. This purchase order created by FBDI during sessions, we are able to see due to some error, the status of purchase order is incomplete. You can see, and the error is here you saying that you must enter either a requested date or a promised date, right? If we remember, while creating the purchase order from top web services, we are providing this date, need by date or the requested delivery date, right? But this time in the schedule we didn't provide it. That's why this integration, this purchase order created, but it's not in complete status. The complete status or submit for approval. But here you can see we have all the 6 line we given. You can see 6 line having different price and the quantity we given. Based on the quantity and price, automatically price got calculated here. And here you can see the price with tax and all, everything is there. If you want to load more, just by updating the error message is quite straightforward, that we just have to provide the date, the promised date and the requested delivery date. And from where we are getting this date we are getting at the schedule level, right? In the schedule level, if you will see, we will have one column that requested delivery date or the promised delivery date. So go to the Excel file FBDI template again. Go to the template on the location lines, and in the lines we have the locations. In the location you will be able to find the date column. You can see need by date or delivery date. So you can provide any of the date here. So let me provide, and what will be the date format? If you will click your mouse here, you will be able to find the date format as YYY/MM/DD. So let me provide the date in the same format only, 2024/12 month, and I want to get this order match by 30th of December. Let me provide the same date here and promise date. So let me provide the promise date here also. Let's provide the promise date as 29. Done. So here we given the values to, just go and generate a new file. Again I will change the batch ID. Let me paste the batch ID as 3 this time. And this time everything is fine, right? Everything is correct. Even whatever the missing values there, we provided the missing values too. So now this time when we will load, the purchase order will be created and it will be moved for submit. It means that it will be in the approval pending status. Then as our system having that auto approval setup, it will go and it will, the status will be of the purchase order will be in the open status. Now the fourth file CSV generated, zip file generated, and we have to load the zip file again. So go to this process, cancel. So here we have to run the load interface file again. Load interface file, we have to search. Click on OK, and here we have to again select the import program, that's the import orders. Search this import order here, select, and data file we have to select as that we have to upload the new data file, as we are not uploading from the import and export options. So new file is 06 we created right now. Okay, submit. So again this will be loaded into that UCM server, then file will be transformed using the transfer file, transfer ESS job. It will be unzipped and it will be loaded into interface table by the interface program executed, and then we have to run the ESS job for importing the data from interface table into the base table. So completed, it will change to success. Yeah, it succeeded. Go and run the import program. So it is import orders. So I will select the import orders here, click on OK, and here we have to provide the batch. So batch name is 13003. Click on submit. Here you can see the approval action. Here we are just moving, select as a submit for approval. So once purchase order will be created, it will directly move to submit for approval. or we can just select as not to approve. So let me go for submit for approval only and just click on submit. Okay. And remember, every time when we are creating purchase order, we are not passing the purchase order number in the FBDI or in the template, because purchase order number is generated by the Fusion functional setup. So in the setup configuration, we have the setup for sequencing the purchase order. So that's why every time the purchase order created, purchase order is started with US1. So this US1 is the sequencing we given for the setup for the US1 business unit. And it can be different for different business unit. So order completed. You can see once we will click here, go below, you can see we have more log file. Just see the text is the log file. Just download the text file and see the purchase order number. You can see this 71 is our purchase order number. Copy this one, go to the file, and here let me go to the manage orders, and here I will search the purchase order number. Click on search. You can see the order created and status is pending approval. Pending approval means it's submitted for approval. So as per our setup, it will automatically submit in few minutes, or it will automatically approve in few minutes. So just wait for few minutes. After that, this purchase order will be approved. So this is the complete process of FBDI load. So this time we loaded FBDI data from FBDI manually. In next session, we will do the same using FBDI. So we will create 4 CSV file. We will place 4 CSV file at file server. We will read all 4 files from file server into OIC. Then we will generate this CSV file. The same CSV file that FBDI is automatically generating, we will generate this CSV file manually here. All this file just like here. So in OIC, remember, in OIC we have to generate this 4 file manually using a stage file operations, and then after we will use a stage file zip operations to zip the file, this all file into a single zip. All these things we have to do manually. So again, all the validations and that the conditions checking on all whatever we want to do, we have to do before generating the file, before mapping the file to a stage file. So now here you can see, if let me refresh again, it's in approval only, so it will go for approval. If you will click here, you will be able to see who is the approver here. Here you can see. So this time it will not directly Kelvin Roth is assigned that Kelvin Roth only. So hopefully this will approve in few minutes. You can see. So once you will click this one, click on the approval one, you will be able to see the hierarchy of approval to whom it's going to approve. You can see pending approval. If you will click here, you will be able to see the hierarchy. So Tefi Living having that options for the for approval. So this will approve the purchase order. Then purchase order status will be changed to approve obtain status. So these are the basic details related to FBDI load. So yeah, anyone having any questions and want to ask anything related to this import process, we can have a small discussion. Yeah,
Jafar, this is Ali.
yeah. Hello, Ani.
Yeah, Jafar, just I have one query.
Yeah,
Basically, for suppose we are creating the purchase order. So we seen the one issue because now we are observing the request date and promise date is
correct.
due to that one. It is not
Uh,
updating into the SAS, correct?
correct,
So
correct.
in this case, basically can we do the update for the same record, same PO?
We can update, but I need to check. Update one I didn't check earlier. So, but if it is like that, we can yes, that you can see that FDI template having options to update operations also. So we can perform the update operations here. Wait. So this one instead of original here we have the update one. So we can check this one. Yeah, I will
Okay.
check and I will let you know that yeah that it can be possible, right? We can update the records and all.
Okay. Basically, in the interface table already that interface header key everything is there, so it is
Uh,
referring
I
that is
hope that
correct.
yeah, right. So once we loaded the data into that base table, so it will not be available in the interface table. So again, if
Oh,
you will load, it will be again moved to the interface table. And as maybe due to that operation we selected here instead of add or create, we have update operation. So maybe it will move the record from interface to base, but due to that operation it will not create that again. It will go and it will find the informations related to the purchase order, and it will create the, it will update the purchase order there. So maybe in case of purchase order, I'm not sure how it will update, because here you can see we don't have anything related to that. They can identify which is the purchase order number, right? So maybe
Yes.
in case of update, we have to provide the order number here, that the document number is the purchase order number, right? So maybe in case of
Okay.
update, instead of once we are selecting this update column here, we have to provide the order number 2. So that based on that, it will find that operation as update. So once it will find the operation as update, it will pick the column from this update column, and it will do and update the purchase order already created in the system.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why, like otherwise, how that it
Yeah.
will identify that which order they have to update, right? So
Yes,
maybe that's
correct.
why
We
they
are
given
getting.
this column. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Jaffer.
yeah,
Yeah. Thank you, Jaffer. Yeah.
yeah,
Jaffer, one more thing.
yeah,
In the
yeah.
import order ESS job now, you got
Hmm.
the three logs.
Hmm.
So one in that one is the PDF. How we got that
Correct.
one? Because when I run that one, I am getting only two logs.
Wait.
One dot
So
text and one dot log.
this text, if we find this two, it means that we don't have any error, right? This PDF is just only for the error reports. You can see the error reports, and this error reports you will only get when your ESS, when your program's having an error, invalid records, right, which is not loaded to the base table. So in this case, we just provided only one records, that one purchase order, and that purchase order loaded successfully. That's why we don't have any invalid purchase order, right? So that's why that PDF not generated here. So this is a standard purchase order report. So obvious in general purpose, if you want, so we have options of the customizing the purchase, customizing the
And
standard purchase
I'm
order.
getting.
Yeah.
I tried that one, but I'm getting only the log messages and
Hmm.
the text dot one, which is having the errors. But the dot PDF it is not printing for me.
Uh, that it can be that it can possible, it can be that there can be different error than this one, because it's automatically generated. We don't have any options to just display this error log PDF file, right? So whenever any record will move into error, it will display this one. Is it that, can you confirm, is it that for the import orders only, or you are getting error message for load
Yes,
interface
yes, yes,
only?
yes. Import orders, import orders.
uh, you can then you can check that the error message, maybe it can be different error. Maybe that can be the fusion criteria, that for that specific error message it's not displaying the PDF report. It can be possible, because you can see while running this, yeah, you can see while running the import program, we don't have any options to select that kind of options, that we want to display the error PDF reports and all or not. You can see these are the parameters we selected.
Yeah, got it, got it.
And here
I'll check.
you
I
can
will check.
see, yeah, Ani, you ask one questions, right? So here you can see when we will go for update, maybe we have to select this option as yes too, so that it will create and update both. So right now we are selecting no, it means that we are saying that no, just go and create only as per the operations we selected in FBDI. If you have to select the operation as update too, we have to just select yes also here also, so that it can understand that not only we have to go for create, we have to go for update too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, Jafar.
yeah, hey, hi.
On the integration side,
Hmm.
when you kick off this import load, right?
Hmm.
Import and load process.
Correct.
So the error report it generates, seeded report is getting generated,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So how do I suppose if I don't want that report layout,
Hmm.
I want to have my own custom report to
Hmm.
call.
Correct.
Is there a way we can stop displaying that seeded report?
It can be possible, like it's completely based on that report and ESS job. Maybe it's having the customization options, that whenever you will
Mhm.
run the ESS job, it will display a specific report only. So yes, Oracle having the flex. I don't know, but Oracle having the flexibilities to, you can just update the ESS job, and based on that update ESS job, you can provide the link of your custom report you created, so that every time
Mhm.
when this ESS job will be executed, it will generate the custom report only.
And one more
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
for testing this, you did all testing before building the integration, right?
Yeah. So here you can see why we done testing money. If you remember last time, while creating from the order from SOAP UI, also we discussed the same, right? Why we just done manually one thing. So that's why we get to know that in the FVDI sheet, which all columns we have to provide, right? So remember
Yeah.
first time if we provided all these values, right? For example,
Mm.
let's skip the error part related to this line number. We provided all this value, but we were getting error just because we didn't provide the number yeah, quantity here in this column, right? So by providing all these things, we get to know that these all are the minimum mandatory columns required to provide to populate in the FVDI sheet, so that it can create the create the purchase order in Fusion using FVDI. So now when you will start integration, so like we are not blindly going to create integration, right? So before going to start integration, so what integration it will do? Integration will do the same thing whatever we have done by clicking on this CSV file, right? We created on this, click on this generate CSV file. It will create its created CSV file for each and every sheet, and it merge all the file into a single zip file right here, this one
Mm.
every time. So same
Mm.
thing we have to do manually in OIC. In OIC, first we have to create one CSV file, we have to create another CSV file, third CSV file, and fourth CSV file. Once we will create all these four CSV file, then we have to create a zip file containing all this file, right? On all these things, we know that we have a state file operations. So that we will create this zip file here, and this zip file we have to load into Oracle Fusion from OIC. So manually we know that we can move to that schedule process here, and we can run the we can just run the load interface file for import, and before running the load interface file for import, we have to load this zip file to UCM server by import and export. We have a API available to load file into UCM server, but specifically for FVDI load, Oracle provided that flexibilities using the ERP cloud adapter. That ERP cloud adapter having the operations as bulk upload. That bulk upload operations having the flexibilities that it will take a file reference, zip file as a file reference. It will load the zip file to a specific directory which import process we will select in the ERP cloud adapter in OIC, and it will automatically run the load interface file for import program. This program it will automatically run. That ERP cloud adapter will automatically run this import program, this one.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
here you can see we have two process, right? It's not only that we have to run this program. After completion of this program, we have to run the import programs too, right? We have two step here. But
Yeah.
your OIC, how it will identify that which import program you have to run? Because this is common for all load, right? This load interface file for import is common for all load, but this import, the order is not for common all, right? This is for different, right?
There is one
Different,
more
yeah.
option, load and import. There is one
uh,
more option, right?
that's load and import only, but bulk load and import, but it will not directly import. You have to, that's why in OIC we have concept as properties file.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the zip file, when from OIC, when we will create the zip file, the zip file will not only contain this four file, it will contain one more file, that file known as properties file. And that properties file will contain the ESS job details. It will contain the ESS job path, ESS job sort name, and it will provide, and it will populate all the parameters or parameters we have passed here in the ESS job. So in this ESS job, two, we have total 8 parameters. So in properties file, we have to pass all these 8 parameters, so that when this program will be submitted, this load interface file will be submitted by ERP Cloud Adapter. After that, it will see that yes, we have properties file. It will look for the properties file. Whatever ESS job details will be there in the properties file, it will run this ESS job, that import program, with the parameters we added in the properties file. So in the properties file, we have to put the parameters in the same sequence only, not with the name.
Mm.
Name sequence, you can see the sequence can be different here. And here you can see this is the name value. It can be different than the value here. So while creating the properties file, we are just focusing on this one. Argument one having ID. You can see the from front end we are selecting as a procurement BU as a name US1 business unit. But in properties file, we have to pass the ID of this business unit. So that's we have to go for. So that's why when we will create properties file, even you will see most of the time, generally what we are going to do for checking the parameters for this ESS job, we are moving and navigating to the setup and maintenance schedule jobs, we are checking there, right? So the better way in OIC, when we are following the properties file, instead of moving there, we are just manually running the ESS job manually from here, and then we are moving back and checking which all the parameters are there and what is the value for the parameters, and that value we are passing manually there. So here you can say it can be possible that in your data file you are getting business unit name, that US1 business unit. You can map this US1 business unit manual map in the CSV file creation. That will be fine. But in your ESS job, it required ID. So how you will get an ID? That's why we require BIP report. So that BIP report will convert your ID, your name into ID. So it's not only related to business unit name, it's related to that what is this one, legal entity also. Is there legal entity? No, in this PO legal entity is not there, but yeah, in invoice case it's there and all. So here you can see this is the same batch ID we passed here. The first value here in front end, it's looking that batch ID here, but here you can see in this one the batch ID is argument 5. So that's why we have to follow this one. Argument 1, 2, 3 is something that the column name. This is the first column of a properties file, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column, sixth column, 7, 8, ninth column. But this ninth column will comes after first three column. In the properties file, the first column will be your ESS job short name. Second column will be your ESS job directory. Third column will be your zip file prefix. The zip file we generated here, right? This one, this zip file, right? So this zip file prefix is PO, right? PO and whatever is there. So this PO will be the third column, and after from the third column, remaining will be this 9 column. So all this we have to provide. We have 9, but it seems here we have 8. So yes, in properties file we have to provide the 9 parameters here. So whatever is the fixed value, we can pass fixed values. Even we can use lookup for that. Lookup for that we have to see that we had operations to select that is that approval for moving for approval or not, and checking all these things, right? So that's we have to select based on that, based on this. So this was the complete flow of FBDI load. Thank you so much everyone for joining. If you have, we already discussed, let's connect in next session and we'll go for FBDI again. Next session will take around 4 hours minimum to complete the FBDI load. So yeah, let's connect next time and we'll cover this. Before connecting, I will try my best to prepare all this documentation and all, so that next time we will not stuck anywhere, and we'll try to complete the FBDI load PO from the FBDI load using OIC. Hello everyone.